Hello Bard haters, and welcome to another fine We Hate Bards Let's Play. I'm Ben, and this is more Fallout New Vegas, Hardcore Permadeath. So today we're starting in a bit of a peculiar location, if you remember the last part, because we ended doing work for the Brotherhood, and now we're back at McCarran Airfield. The reason we are back at McCarran Airfield, however, is because we have some work to do today with Veronica. Because I mentioned last part that in addition to doing all the bits and pieces for the Brotherhood, we're also going to trigger Veronica's loyalty quest, and then we're going to do Veronica's loyalty quest. Now, the way Veronica's loyalty quest works is very similar to R.K. Gannon and Boone's loyalty quest, which is you have to go and trigger certain events to happen. And some of them only happen on, like, the first time you go somewhere. So one of the events, for example, that is a trigger is going into Thomas Hildern's office and speaking to Thomas Hildern for the first time. And when you introduce yourself to Thomas Hildern, he says a specific line, and she needs to hear that line. If she cannot hear that line, so if you haven't come here first, then it becomes impossible to trigger. However, there are 3 triggers that will never actually go away. And one of them is right here, inside of Camp McCarran. As you can see, she said, there's a lot more troops here than I thought. This is why we couldn't hold Helios 1. If she says that line, you'll know that she's hit the first trigger.
Ordinary guys with knives and bullets, and they're taking over Nevada.
And that is the second trigger that we wanted. Normally you have to wait for 30 seconds, but if you come here to Nelson, that's where the other trigger is. So like I was saying, I thought you had to come here and wait in the center of the town, and sometimes you have to. But basically just come here, spend 30 seconds or whatever, and she'll say that line. Ordinary guys with guns and bullets. You can also trigger this line, by the way, at Cottonwood Cove or the Legion Fort. However, it is the same line. You cannot go to all 3 of those locations individually and expect them to be 3 different triggers. They are just the same trigger. The final trigger is just in an area that we were last time, and this is, of the 3 that never actually leave, that you can trigger at any time, of those 3, this is probably the most difficult. Which is not to say that it is actually difficult, or that it will, be a rough time for me. It's still relatively simple. It's just kind of time-consuming and annoying. The event in question takes place at the far end of the Boomer camp, right here by these 3 sets of Quonset huts, and specifically in this one, which is the Boomer Museum. One thing we do want to grab as soon as we enter the Boomer Museum is the snow globe for Nellis Air Force Base, because that'll be an extra 2,000 caps, and it'll work towards my collection, which apparently I have. Yes, and now we need to talk to Pete and listen to the stupid, obnoxious description of how the Boomers came to be. I really don't want to know about your people, but I don't really have a choice. And now Pete will commence his stupid, slow walkover and his long, droning speech about how the Boomers managed to make it out of the vault and took artillery shells.
I'm pleased that you listened to the entire story.
I'm not pleased at all. Yeah, I find that whole thing just unbelievably tedious. Can you tell? We might as well ask him some questions because we can get some extra... We'll make him some extra reputation from telling him things.
And hold technology over them. Gee, where have I heard that one before?
And now Veronica has gotten her 3rd trigger, and once she's hit her 3rd trigger, she will talk to us. One side note I want to point out, for anyone who wants to do a really super cheap, ridiculous run, you have to trigger that quest. She'll come and talk to you. She'll say, I need to talk to you. You'll say, not now. Then you have to release her and send her back to the 188 trading post. Once she's back at the 188 trading post, you go back there, talk to her again, and she'll say the same thing. It's supposed to only trigger when she's your companion. It'll trigger even if she's not. But you'll say, got a second. You say, sure. She'll tell you she needs to go back and talk to the Brotherhood. You say, no, I don't want to go do that right now. And she'll say, oh, well, come back and talk to me when you do. And it'll then say, Veronica stopped being your companion, even though she wasn't your companion. What this does is it tricks the game into thinking that you had a companion slot full when you didn't, so it opens up another companion slot. At that point, you can go and get, say, for example, Boone, if he were still alive, or Arcade Gannon and Cass, who are both themselves still alive. And you can go and get one of those companions, come back, do it again, it'll open another companion slot, and you can keep doing that until you've gotten all 5 human companions, then come back and say, yeah, I'll do it this time, and you'll get the 6th companion. But if you do this, if the little exploit I just told you about, you can have all 6 human companions, which basically means you'll never have any problems again for the entire rest of the game.
Hi there.
But we're not actually interested in doing any of that. We just want to complete the main quest, and the loyalty quests, and a lot of the side quests. Yep, Senior Knight Lorenzo is in this room with all the broken Brotherhood equipment. Don't bother trying to take it, you can't repair it anyway. Once we found him, we can ask him what he needs to repair the infiltration system. Well, I'm not just an ordinary patrolman, so don't worry about me. So he's given us now the 3 things that we need, and the map will show us where to get them. And this is where kind of the trouble comes in. Because while I forgot the specific vaults where 2 of them are located, I know one of them has a crap ton of fiends inside of it, and the only way to actually get in there and do stuff is to start interacting with the Great Khans. And whoa! Oh, I forgot about this little thing. This guy's mad at us because Veronica's trying to change the Brotherhood. So she thinks that by going and finding certain bits of technology, she can show the Brotherhood, no, we can actually make this work. It'll be fine. So on this terminal, it'll tell us exactly what we need to do. Oh, crap. I didn't realize that. Right, so one of the 3 options for the technology we can go get, and the one I was planning to use was Helios 1. Because I mentioned that Helios 1 housed a weapon, and that like you could get the rangefinder and everything else. But apparently because I've done the quest and reactivated it, and it is not currently powering a weapon, I can't go back and change it so that it is, and the data itself is not what she actually needed the weapon. So you'll know you're getting close to Vault 22 when you start seeing all this extra vegetation all over the place, as well as the sign saying, stay out, the plants kill. And they are not joking. Ooh. Forgot about the giant mantises. So into Vault 22 we go. And Vault 22 is kind of an interesting one. Now, the lore about this place is that the people in here were experimenting with a new chemical that allowed them to grow back a lot of extra plants at at a highly accelerated rate. However, as with every other Vault experiment, it didn't go great, and it ended up turning a lot of people into monsters, and those monsters are still around here. Repair of 50. Cock. What is my repair? I might actually be able to do this, so I have high enough repair. Tell you what, I have a bunch of fixing things I haven't used yet. Might as well use it for this. Repair the elevator. I'm not going to spend too much time in this place. I basically just want to get in and get out with no hassle. Ah, here we go. Oh, they've already seen me. One of the strategies I commonly see advocated for this section, for the plants in particular, is, oh, use the flamethrower, it does great damage. And here's the thing, it does do great damage. But the reason it does great damage is not what most people think. Because most people assume that the reason that, these plant monsters take extra damage against flamethrowers is because, like, oh, it's fire, they're plant, it's like a Pokemon relationship. That's not how that works. This isn't freaking Pokemon, it's Fallout New Vegas. Where the hell are you going? Veronica! Do not run off, you can die! God damn it, you stupid companions. Anyway, the reason flamethrowers do great damage against spore carriers is that flamethrowers have a really high DPS, and spore carriers have no damage threshold whatsoever. The mantises, neither of those have any damage threshold. So a high DPS weapon like a flamethrower is a great weapon to have. But it is not the only weapon that will work really well against them. Anything with a high DPS will work great. So yes, as you're going through here, make sure you have a really good DPS weapon like my 10mm submachine gun. Or one thing I might actually consider doing now that I think about it, because I have a bunch more 9mm ammo. I bought a bunch more. So I might just go back to the Vicky Advanced 9mm submachine gun, because this is going to be the highest DPS weapon I got going anyway. So there's 2 things we have to do here. First is we have to find the reverse pulse cleaner. I believe it's a reverse pulse cleaner. Secondly, we have to find Keely and her data. So to get Keely and to get her data that we need to come down here into this back part on floor 5. And if you come to this big open area here, you'll know you're in the right place.
Hey! Took your sweet time.
Yep, Angela Williams sent me to come find you. I'll help. So Keely's base of operations is on the 2nd floor, I believe. Ah, there we go.
Good, you're here.
Okay, so to finish off this quest, we need to go and find this semi-inert gas she's pumped in. And the easiest way to do that is the only way to do that really, is to use plasma or explosives of some type. So I'm going to take her frag grenades, because those are going to be, those are going to be about the only way I'm actually going to do this. Alright, so this is where the gas is pumping. If you try to blow it up right here, you will die. So I found the easiest thing to do is pick this lock, and of course break yet another lockpick. We need to get access to this room, which we need to do anyway because this is where the data is. And we were told to destroy it, but we're going to download it first. Cock! I thought I killed all you fuckers. This level I'm going to dump all of my points other than 2 into speech. The remaining 2 are going to go into melee weapons. And the reason I'm going to put this up into speech is because I need speech to be 100 for the next speech check I'm going to have to make. Alright, this is where it's going to get tricky. I have to lob a grenade, get it out there, then close the door and back off without dying. Okay, so our health is pretty much maxed. Here we go. I'm on fire, I'm on fire, I'm on fire! I took quite a lot of damage from that, but I'm still alive. We'll use another stim pack, and then we'll get back up to talk to What's-Her-Nuts. Actually, what we're going to do first is we're going to come back up and find the thing we need for the Elder. I don't remember which floor it's on, though, is the problem. Right, so I just wasted about 20 minutes of my time trying to remember where exactly the HEPA filters were. And apparently, the only way to get in there, they're technically on this floor, but you have to go in a really ass-backwards way by going all the way back down to floor 5, taking a back entrance out through a bunch of cave systems, up back to the second floor, going a back way. There's a bunch of lockers there, and the HEPA filters are in one of them. But I'm back now, so we have what we need for the Brotherhood. We're gonna lie about it just because otherwise she'll try and take the data from us, and I don't think there's any way that she'll let us take it out unless we kill her. So that was the first of 3 things that we needed. One of the more difficult ones, admittedly. That means with Vault 22 done, we now can go on to Vault 11, and what exactly is that? Oh right, giant ants.
That's enough of that.
And now, wait, what? Is that a Brahmin? Oh, are you the pack Brahmin from those, caravanners I watched die earlier? Right. If memory serves, this isn't a terribly difficult vault. I don't actually remember what the deal is with Vault 11.
Trouble.
I know it's been overrun by monsters, but it hasn't fucking everywhere in the wasteland. You know what? I'm wasting a lot of ammo doing this. Let's make my life a bit easier, shall we? Yeah, like I said, I don't think anything in here is terribly strong or able to do much to you. Right, so I cut out most of Vault 11 because it wasn't very interesting. It was a lot of me just chainsawing random rats and mantises and everything else. Actual thing I needed, the differential pulse, or differential something control, was at the very bottom. There's a bunch of water at the very bottom of it. Swim through it, get a little bit irradiated, and then there's a locker wherein the differential control thingy lies. Meaning the last actual place we have to go is Vault 3. And Vault 3 can be the most difficult of all of the vaults you'll go to. The reason for that is because it's crawling with fiends. Like an absolutely ungodly amount of fiends kind of around the area. If we charge in right now, we might be able to kill them all, but that is a lot of killing we will have to do, and I'm not really sure I want to do it. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. We ran into problems. Problems we're running into.
I'm gonna need some new limbs. I've had worse.
Right, so Ben made a mistake. Ben made a gigantic mistake. He forgot there were death claws in this area. As for why we're going this way in the first place, as I said, we need to get into Vault 3, which is crawling with fiends, and which has a lot of just... I don't know how much powerful stuff they have at this point. I still don't think they grow terribly high. Because, as we all know, enemies in this game will scale with you. To make Vault 3 a little bit nicer, if you come to Red Rock Canyon first, which is where we are, as you can see the massive red rocks all over the place, you can talk to Diane and Jack, I think is who it is. Dan and Jack, who are the drug runners for this area. They will give you a great con disguise that you can then use to go and infiltrate Vault 3 without needing to worry about dying a lot. But nope, this is where we need to be, the drug lab, and we need to find... I think Diane is the one we need to find because she's the one who's going to actually give us tasks to do. There they are.
I like you, stranger. You've stood by us with...
Okay. So we can't actually do the one I need to do yet. What we can do is we can come back to Cottonwood Cove, because she needs to find someone named Anders who should be right here. Oh, that's a slave. Anders is over here. Yep, lore-wise, what is supposed to have happened is Anders was trying to peddle drugs, and he ran into the Legion.
Morning.
And the Legion doesn't really like drugs or drug peddlers, so they decided to crucify him. And we'll get him down, and then he can kind of go back. That quest actually confused me for quite some time, because there's actually another character in the game named Anders. They have two characters named Anders in this game. The other one, if you'll recall from several parts back, is a ranger. Because I got the quest from Colonel Sue to go look for a ranger named Anders. And I thought I found him. Because the first time I got that quest, first time I played this game and got that quest, I saw a guy named Anders on a cross. I'm like, wow, this is the guy I need. And then it wouldn't let me do anything with him, and I thought the game had bugged. But no, it's just a different guy named Anders. So the next thing we have to do is we have to go back to the Crimson Caravan and talk to Dan Hostetler. Dan Hostetler is right here in the Crimson Caravan main office. We've been here a myriad of times and seen him. So we'll tell him that we've got some nice drugs here from your friends.
Huh?
So once you finish up the Crimson Caravan run, come back and talk to Jack and Diane, and then she will tell you about this other shipment that needs to go to Vault 3. And they mentioned to you that the fiends in Vault 3 will generally shoot anyone they see on sight, but they give you a fiend outfit or a Gate Con outfit that will allow you to blend in.
You like the sight of your own.
The downside of the armor is it doesn't work everywhere. In fact, the only place the con armor does work is once you actually get inside of Vault 3. But to get there, we have to go past a bunch more fiends. Which means sniping! So my sniping plan appears to have gone a bit wrong. So quite a few more fiends than I was hoping for, but that's fine. I'm starting to find a very distinct downside to all this fast travel. That downside being, I am now deprived of food, water, and sleep. Okay. So the plan is stealth. Stealth and stealthiness. And then more stealth.
Uh-oh.
Right, so far the stealth thing not going great. Come on, stop moving. Stop, stop, stop. I'm the best at sneaking. Okay, so Plan Ninja appears to have not gone great. But that is why we always have a second backup plan.
I'm coming through to see the boss. Don't shoot at
Alright, so now that we're in, things get a little bit easier.
I wasn't expecting a resupply.
So first order of business was we had to give the package to Motor Runner. And since we're dressed as a great con, he won't try to attack us, which is good, because Motor Runner is actually kind of a nasty, powerful enemy. But second order of business is we now have to get the thing we need for the Brotherhood, which thankfully is right over here. The reverse pulse cleaner, right next to Motor Runner. He doesn't care that we've taken it. Obviously, he has no idea what it is, and it doesn't matter. And of course, once we get Veronica back, we can just fast travel straight to the Brotherhood outpost again, and turn in the last of the quests that we need. So when we make it back to the Brotherhood bunker, the first thing that'll happen is Veronica will go up and talk to Elder McNamara with her little plant breeding thing. Yep, and Elder McNamara refuses to take it, even though Veronica makes a really interesting case about why they need it. Like, we can be totally self-sufficient. No, we don't need it. You kind of do.
We'll die out.
I know.
Come on.
Yeah, he just flat out admitted, like, yeah, we're gonna die if we stay here, but oh well. I'm trying to pick specific options, by the way, because it's going to affect how this plays out in the end. Yep, here we go. This is your home, and these are your friends. You should stay.
They may be a bunch of wooden...
Do you?
Alright, Senior Knight
Alive?
Lorenzo, I managed to find all the stuff you needed.
Why don't you go tell the...
And
We
now we
should
can
not have
turn it
had
into
to
Elder
rely on your
McNamara,
help in
who
this.
at this point
People
says,
called
yes,
me
we
a
can
hero
finally leave the
after what
vault.
happened at Helios,
Or the bunker.
but I left.
He'll allow us to come and go as we please. We've gained Brotherhood of Steel fame. They love us now. And we have the key to the Brotherhood safe house. But
Welcome
we're not
outside.
quite
Welcome.
done yet. We'll tell him
You
we want to join the
certainly are-
Brotherhood.
Except
When we
as
ask him
one
what the
of our
task is, he'll
as
tell us
I-
we need to go up to Black Mountain, which starts the quest Eyesight to the Blind. Admittedly, that quest we're not going to need Veronica for, but we do need her for one more little thing yet before we can complete. I could make you care. I'm going to use my last meeting people because I need it here. It's the last time I will need it, incidentally. Because then I can open the door to the Hidden Valley and talk to this guy. This is why I needed Speech 100. Well, technically Speech 95, but effectively Speech 100. If we didn't have Speech 95, we'd have to fight these guys, and they're kinda nasty. So rather than risk that, rather than risk Veronica dying at the last stage, we're just gonna talk him out of it. Yeah, I had to do it twice because apparently it just automatically does it, even though it
God.
hadn't.
I should get used to this, I guess.
And once we did it, Veronica will get the Bonds of Steel perk, which will increase her armor. But most importantly, I like this better from a lore perspective. Because if you convince her to stay with the Brotherhood, she's generally happier. Like her post-game, she seems like... Especially if you convince Elder McNamara to release the lockdown. She will be happier and, you know, things will work out a little bit better for her than if you just, say, go with the Followers of the Apocalypse. Because if you do that, and go to join the Followers of the Apocalypse, the Brotherhood will find out about it. They'll go and kill the Followers of the Apocalypse she was going to help, and then she'll have no home at all. You know, the Followers won't take her in, she'll have nowhere to go. And she'll get the perk Rebel Without a Cause, which will... I can't remember what that does. I think it's a damage bonus. Also, if you do it that way, it means you will have to fight those Brotherhood guys. There's no way around it. So this way it allows me to avoid a fight, so that's the way I'm taking it. It also means, since I finished that, I no longer need Veronica around, so we can tell her to go home. So now I'm back alone again, which is the way I like it, and it means I can sneak a little bit easier. Because for this next part I need to go into Black Mountain, and I can't remember what way we're supposed to do it. There is a way, if you know where you're going, you can sneak up the back way and get into Black Mountain. I think you have to go through here. The reason, by the way, that I want to go on the back way to Black Mountain is because if you don't, you have to fight a crap ton of super mutants, and I don't want to fight a crap ton of super mutants. Okay, game, you can take off the filter for the freaking... Oh, shit. Centaurs respawned. So yes, this way, if you go by back where you found that first Brotherhood patrol, where all the Centaurs are, you can just flat out sneak in. And there's no super mutants actually up by the station. Fuck! Every single time. So after I picked that frickin' lock and came out of caution, I apparently leveled up. So the first thing I did was to max up my speech at 100. So that will now give me every speech check in the game, which is important because there's a speech check later on that I'm going to want to make potentially. The rest I put into sneak, and I put a couple into melee weapons. Actually, you know what I'm gonna do? Science up to 75. That's where I'm gonna go. I'm not gonna put the points into sneak. I'm gonna put them straight into science, and I get another perk. I'm gonna take finesse because the bonus to critical hit will be very useful. That'll be an extra 5% every time I go to do it. Feel like I'm overdue for that. Okay. That is not where I wanted to be. Can I get out of this by using a stealth boy? I might as well. I have a bunch left. Okay, this is where we actually wanted to go. I shouldn't have needed to burn a stealth boy for that, but apparently I'm retarded. Inside this hut, you'll find something called Rhonda. And if we use science, which we have high enough, I think you only need a 50 science for it.
Thank you very much.
We can then go back outside
Rhonda?
and introduce her to Tabitha. Well, you can give me your unique missile launcher. She does give us the stuff for her equipment, so that's kind of useful. Because now we can unlock all the chests in here. And there's a lot of ammo in them. Anyway, After looting that room, we can go in and we can actually complete this mission for the Brotherhood, which requires going to the top of this little radio tower here and planting a bug. There's only one problem with that. This thing is locked. The only way to get in is with a key. Oh no, but who has the key? Well, apparently whoever has the key is not original in hiding places because it's right there. I don't know if there's any other way to get a key for that. I think you can kill Tabitha and she has a key on her. That's possibly a thing that happened, but I don't remember the last time I killed Tabitha. It's been a while. I killed her because I wanted Annabelle, which is the unique rocket launcher, and she's got it. But all I have to do is go over here to the radar console, install the transmitter, and that's the end of that quest. So yeah, it's a lot easier than I made it look. Like I said, all you need to do is sneak in the back, then get to this door without being noticed. And once you've repaired Rhonda and send her back to Tabitha, you can freely walk around this area and get anything you want. So now we can report back to Elder McNamara that we've done the last stupid thing he wanted us to do. I mean, this never made much sense to me either. He just sent us out on like a myriad of fetch quests. We had to go find a bunch of patrols, then find a bunch of scouts, then find a bunch of random parts in really dangerous vaults. And we're still not good enough to join the Brotherhood until we go and plant a transmitter at a building somewhere. Which, ironically, was like the easiest and least influential thing that we did. You know, I suppose it might just be that he actually was going to let me join the Brotherhood before, but he just needed to have me go run an errand real quick while he got everything ready. And I'm over encumbered and cannot run. And the reason for that is they just gave me 50 pounds of crap, which I think I can actually have enough stuff to get rid of. Okay, I lied, I don't have enough stuff to get rid of, but that's fine, I'll just drop this stuff. That power armor isn't that good anyway, it's T45D. It's also, I think, Brotherhood aligned. Now that I think about it, that is one thing you want to be careful of when choosing power armor, because most power armor you're going to find is going to be Brotherhood power armor. The power armor on the Brotherhood patrols we found was Brotherhood aligned. Most of the armor here is Brotherhood aligned. There is, however, one set of power armor that is not Brotherhood aligned. And to get that unaligned armor, we have to go to the Brotherhood of Steel safe house on the outskirts just east of New Vegas. I should warn you, I cut it out, but there are a crap ton of death claws along the way here, so try to be careful. Anyway, the armor we wanted is right here, the T51B, and the T51 helmet. It's in very poor repair, as you can see. There's also a lot of just random crap lying around. There's a poor repair missile launcher, a Tesla cannon, which is also relatively poor repair, and a Gatling laser, which we're not going to use yet, but we will eventually. And there's a water fountain here that has no radiation on it, so we can drink that and get rid of our dehydration that we got. The nice thing about that T51B power armor is, even though it's in very, very poor repair, if we repair it with Brotherhood armor, it will still be unaligned armor. So all we have to do, really, is find a bunch of sets of Brotherhood armor and use those to repair the regular armor. So yes, that is exactly what I did, and now as you can see, I've got some super awesome power armor. Just kind of chilling out. I still have my anti-material rifle equipped because I forgot to unequip it. But I stopped back at the strip to drop off some stuff for get ready for the next part, because that's about enough for this part. And I apologize. This is probably going to be a really long part, longer than any of the other ones we've had so far, because it took a bit longer than I expected to do some of the things I wanted to do. I didn't want the Brotherhood to be 3 episodes. I just wanted to kind of cram it into 2. So hopefully it won't be too terribly long. But now that it's done, I can move on to the next point of order, which would be the Boomers, whom I've already visited. But Mr. House wants me to go and make nice with and be friends with, and I've got another quest from the NCR who want me to go and make nice with them, which I can say, yeah, like they're totally gonna help me out. And then they won't pay much attention to the pronoun there. So that'll be next time. Go talk to the Boomers again, do more of the lair. I've already done the thing with the museum, which will give us rep with the Boomers. It'll give us a higher reputation. And all I really need to do to complete that is get to the highest rep, get to idolize with the Boomers, which is not hard to do. I'll probably end up doing all the other stuff there just to show it off, because there's a few different bits and pieces. And then after I'm done with that, I'll move on and crack on with the other parts of the story as need be. But for right now, I think that's good enough. Thanks as always for watching, guys. I was Ben, and this was Fallout New Vegas Hardcore Permadeath. See you next time, everyone.